Hello, hello. If you guys are interested in hearing me talk about my customs, what I'm using, the leathers, and the ins and outs of the leathers, and the things that I like and I don't like, stay tuned. Most frequently right now, and I figured I would just kind of do a little bit of a flip through just so that you guys can kind of see where I'm at with these. I know, a lot of people talk about the different customs, and there's always so many questions on the Spek website, so I figured it's not going to hurt to just show these again. So I will start with my Hobonichi Weeks. This is from Spek. Let me get this one out of the way too. So from Spek, this is for a Hobonichi Weeks. This is actually for the mega size, and I didn't have any customizations done on this one at all. This is just, no, that's not true. I got a bigger clasp. That's it. That's the only thing that I did. So this is the A5 clasp that's on here. I kept just the one pen loop, which I guess technically that might be a custom. I think if you do it like online, that would be. And then I did do a big back pocket. And then everything else is pretty much standard, with the regular pockets. So there's the card sleeves here. There is a slip pocket here, and then a slip pocket here as well. And then in the back, these are just blank, so don't freak out. But because I usually will have people say, you have sensitive information. Nope, they're blank. We're good. And then there's just a slip pocket here, and then another pocket right there. So this is in the color Hortensia, which I absolutely love. I did ask for super smooth, and so you can see, like, if you look really close, you can see some striations and such, but for the most part, this leather is very, very smooth. This leather is very, very rugged. Like you can get water if you have like cream on your hands, as long as it's not excessive, it's not gonna like transfer on here. It's a very rugged leather. So this is Hortensia. This is the matching stitching with the A5 clasp. And so there you go. So for those of you that are looking at, this is called the Custom Codex Mega. So I did go with the mega size. This one is a Mega Weeks, and it's pretty thick, as you can see. There is still a lot of room left in there for this puppy to grow. And for this year, I just got the standard size, so I'll have more than plenty of room for it to grow. So that is that. So that's the one. And then this is my B6. Now this is slightly different than, oops, hitting the camera, sorry guys. This is slightly different than the B6 Codex that they have online as far as the measurements go. So this one here is a 25 millimeter, and there is a video that I have where I do the comparison between the 25 millimeter and the 30 millimeter size. So the 30 millimeter ones were a little bit bigger. I'm not sure if that's close to their B6 Codex size yet or not. But anyway, so this is before Spek came out with the B6 codex, you had to kind of come up with your own. And so this one was basically a ringed planner that had 25 millimeter rings. It was the standard, and I had obviously no rings put in, and then I had it heightened some to fit my my stology. So yeah, so you can see there, and I went with the 30 for the next one because I thought I was going to have a lot more room for side tabs. There is more room for side tabs, but I can tell you that really what I figured out was this was the issue. Having this second pen loop is really what causes the issue with the book. So you can see it there, whereas you can see the back one doesn't. So that was, you know, hindsight. Like if I were to make a B6 again, I would probably only do one pen loop, and then I would just come up with my own something if I decided that I needed to carry the highlighter as well. So anyway, so that's my recommendation to people whenever they're asking. Omit this one here because this one does tend to flop into the book. And I had to actually have this one cut down a little bit, my stology, because it was like literally resting on the top of the book, and the cover wasn't closing right. So now, with that being said, I also kind of wanted to show you guys, you know, so with the Hortensia, there's really not going to be much at all of a patina, but I did want to talk about ostrich and how it patinas. So it definitely patinas much differently than standard leather. So now you can, if you really look close, so these are classic examples of patina. You can see the darker where the quills are flat, but see how they're darker. And same thing here. And then if you look really close on the edge, there you go. You can see how dark it is on the edge as well. So, and then, you know, there are spots like you can kind of see where, which this doesn't bother me. For some people it does. I think it's possible. I don't know if it's maybe color transferring a smidge from here onto here, and that's why it's a slightly different color here. So if I were to do something like this again, I would just do the same on the inside strap. I would do the same leather as I do here. I'm not sure if that's color transfer or if it's just like one leather rubbing on the other and it's causing that slight color variation. Not sure. So it will get darker. So that's something to really bear in mind. It's something that people don't really think about a lot. When you are thinking about purchasing an ostrich, you need to think about what is it going to look like down the road, because it's probably most definitely going to darken. And so here as well, these are spots, and this was something I had mentioned actually in a group because somebody had spilled something on the front of theirs. This was, I didn't actually spill anything. This was me just wiping the planner down with non-alcoholic baby wipes, and it got that darkness and it didn't go away. So honestly, and I did kind of freak out a little bit because, you know, see there's like, you know, some dark spots from where I cleaned it. And so you do have to be careful as far as the darkening goes with the lighter colors that you choose for the ostrich. So they might be gorgeous, beautiful, vibrant colors, but this leather definitely, like, it just seems to absorb everything. And I know this is not something that's talked about a lot in the planner community. So I wanted to make sure that I mention it to you guys because it's super important to know. Like, I want you guys to like go into making a custom, especially for something that's this expensive. I want you to go in and and know that this stuff can happen, because you'd be very disappointed if you purchase one and you see that darkening happening like that and you start freaking out like, oh no, it doesn't look like it did. That is very normal. It is kind of part of how ostrich patinas, and it's something that you need to be okay with, especially when you're in, throwing in a lot of your money for these planners. Now, something else I also wanted to know about ostrich, and you can kind of see it a little bit if you look. See how there's like variation in color here on some of the quills? So if you look very closely on different angles, you can kind of almost see like a lighter hue of pink. That also is very normal. Ostrich tends to absorb that dye in a different way than cow leather does. So you will see those variations very frequently on your planners, and some spots are obviously darker or lighter than others. So there's that. So just kind of be aware, but this is my B6 holding my stology and yeah, so I can do like an actual like flip through another time, but really this time I'm just kind of talking about the different planners, and this happens to be my planner lineup right now. These are the two that I use for my personal planning the most frequently. Now, a non-custom that I have, you guys have seen this. I have many videos on this. This is the B6 Appunto by Gillio Forense, and yes, she is still very, very shiny. This is my one and only coat of this stuff that I put on this planner. This planner is used all the time, and the product that I use has continued to shine it like crazy, and I love it. And let's talk about and be honest with this one. So, yep, it still stinks. It does not stink as badly as it stunk when I very first purchased it, but it still stinks. And if smell is something you're super sensitive to, this new line of Crocos by Gillio is not going to be for you, because everybody says, oh, the smell goes away. The smell does go down, okay? I'm being completely honest and upfront here. The smell does go down, but to date, it has not gone away. So it still has the smell. Like if you smell it, it still has that like chemical, like soapy, don't really know what it is kind of smell. And it's not like totally, offensive to me anymore. So it doesn't really bother me. And before, when I used to handle it, it would like get on my fingers and I'd smell it on my hands, and it just, was awful. But it isn't like that anymore. But I'm just warning you that, caveat, it was pretty stinky when it first came. So this is the aubergine, and in the Croco Matte B6 Appunto. Mine looks a little different than others, and because with mine I have to super stuff it, and I guess I don't really have anything in the pocket anymore, but I do have 2 books in here, because as you can see, it is still, let me take this out, because there's always like, my old video resurfaced on one of the pages, and then I got like flooded with DMs again. So this is what it looks like, okay? So it's still very like wavy. That's really the best way that I can describe it. It isn't as crisp as what a lot of people's planners would look like, because mine had water damage, and I had to do a lot of stuff to try and get it to be normal. So that's just a kind of caveat there. Like if somebody's like, oh, wait a minute, but I saw another Apunto and it didn't really look like that one. That's why. Mine looks just a tidge different. Like you can see, you can see some bumpy waviness. I've seen some other people's that they're just like super flat and crisp looking. Mine is just not ever going to be that way. So if you're looking at it and wondering why, that's why. Okay, we're just going to move on from that. So I actually do really love the B6 Apunto for one reason, way more in this sense than I haven't had the true B6 Codex. I've only had the ones that I've custom made, but I like this one because I think width-wise, it's probably just a smidge wider. Let's compare. I'm pretty sure I did this in a different video, but I'll do it again. So width-wise, yeah. So you can see here that it's this much wider, okay? And that might not seem like a big deal, and I can measure that in centimeters. We're looking at, probably close to 15, or 15, 1.5, that's 15 millimeters. Sorry, my brain's saying one thing, my mouth is saying another. That doesn't seem like a big deal, but like even when you're doing a custom, this is a big deal because that extra width is definitely going to allow you to stuff the daylights out of this thing. Okay. Now, hang on, what was that? Nothing. Okay, it's just a phone number. I was like, oh no, I hope that wasn't sensitive information. It's not. We're good. So to me, that's a big deal. I would have to see what the measurements for the new Vanderspek B6 are, because before I had these, I hadn't had this B6 Apunto. And so I didn't know what the measurements were. I didn't know like what I could fit, what I couldn't fit. Let me tell you, you can stuff the daylights out of this thing. And stuffing may not be for you, and it's not always for me. Like for my for my personal, I don't really need to super stuff it, but I really enjoy having that option for my work planner. So I actually am currently using two different books. So I use the B6ology for, let me see if I can show you. Okay. So like say this is the house that we're selling. This is a list. And, these were things that all had to get fixed and got fixed. And basically what I do for each house that I have is I just write dates, I write addresses, and then I just, fill out whatever I have to fill out. And then I have, separate things, like I have notes and so on and so forth. And, some of this has information about clients in here, and the same as with this. So you don't see me showing you guys this a whole lot. Let me think. I know there's absolutely nothing in December. Okay. So this is, I always forget the name of it. And it's not going to be on here, of course. Drat. Nope, it's nowhere. Oh, let's see. Okay. Boy, it really is nowhere. I know this was a bit of a tight fit. Nope. Okay, well, I thought it was going to be on here. For the life of me, I can't remember. But This set basically started in September of 2019 and goes until September of 2020. So it was super helpful. And look it's just like having a week's. So B6 in a week setup, it's like la. So I can do like a weekly spread of what's going on, and then I can write whatever I need to write over here. It has the current month and the future month there up at the top. I will find out what this is, and I will link it below for you. I just do not remember what it is called, and I don't have a clue where I bought it from. I'm trying to think. I think I got it from a specific website. So I will find out what this one is called because I'm so new to it. But the paper is nice. It's not Tomoe River. It's a little bit thicker. And it's definitely, I would say, thicker also than the Stology as well. So, but yeah, it works basically, you know, just like a week's, and I think it's perfect for me, you know, and it does have some note pages at the very back there. I wish that there was like a name on it so I could tell you guys exactly what it is, but I will link it. And so, yeah, so having that like Hobonichi weeks set up in a planner is nice, and as much as it is, you know, look how thin it is. If you compare it to the Stology, you've got double, you know, half of the amount as this one. So it's perfect for me. And I just kept the black cover because it worked. And oh, wait a minute. Is it on here? Nope, that's like a recycling thing. I got too excited thinking the name might be there. But yeah, so I kept it in this plastic cover, and I did purchase 2 of them, and the other one I am, instead of buying a week's, I'm going to use it the same way that I used my second Hobonichi weeks. Which I had told you guys what, you know, is basically just for logging, you know, so logging things that I'm doing in house projects that I'm working on and so on and so forth. So yeah, so this one houses my schedule. It does have the months at the beginning, and then I just, you know, fill these out. I do not decorate. Like what you see here is the most decoration that's in here. I don't decorate anything for work on the inside of my books anywhere. So they're all, the most decoration is basically what you see right here in this. So that's it. Pretty minimal. Couple of stickers here and there, but all works out really well. And like I said, you can super stuff these apuntos. So just, you know, you can see I have notepads at the end. I have notepads at the beginning. So lots and lots of stuff in this thing. Still plenty of room, and plenty of room to put more stuff in the actual back pocket. So I highly recommend the B6 Appunto from Gillio for those of you that are stuffers and really, really want to stuff your planners, you know, with lots and lots of things. This one is absolutely perfect for that. So, you know, did, just like I said, want to give that little bit of a caveat that they're a little stinky. It does go away enough to tolerate it, but so far for me, it hasn't gone away completely. So if you're a super, super sensitive person, just be aware of that. Now, I do have the video showing where I put the stuff on it to make it a little more shiny. I more did that because I wanted to accelerate like what true patina for these are. So with this particular color, You know, patina is generally going to be like a shiny spot. So like you can kind of see right there where it's a little more shiny. That's kind of how these leathers patina, okay? At least in this color, this is my experience. Now, you will get some darkening on edges, so you can see it's sort of like a orangey darkening type of color. I will be 100% honest, and I'm probably going to be lynched for this. This was my unicorn. This color, this planner, this everything. This was my unicorn for a while. Now, the Croco, I like how it's super flat. I didn't mind the velvetiness a lot as far as touching it, but what did bother me about this one was that it collected lint and dust, and it drove me nuts. And I thought, well, if it's going to collect lint and dust, it's going to collect dirt too. And I truly think that the Crocos, in my opinion, from Gillio, do not wear well over time. Now, that's not all of them, okay? I'm talking the lighter colors, like the yellows, and now they have the pastels. Like, I did not touch those with the 10-foot pole because I was petrified that those things are gonna look awful once they're actually being used a lot. The colors were stunning, absolutely stunning. But I was absolutely petrified that if I were to purchase one of those, it would look like it came out of a trash can after about a month. And I just said, no, can't do it. I have to have my planners looking almost new. That's just me. Y'all might not mind bunging them up and penning them up and them getting kind of dirty and so on and so forth. But mine need to look new for me, or else I'm moving on, because I cannot stand when my planners look old and trashy. So, you know, and not everybody's get that way, because some people use like covers and little crochet pouches and that kind of thing. And theirs could look really, really good because they take super, super good care of it. I have to throw mine all around, and I know mine is going to collect dirt and dust and grime and be just yuck. So I just stayed away from those light colors in Croco. Now, I will tell you that in the Apoca leather, I have the Lila, which is a light purple. And although that light purple looks like it would get really gross and grimy, I have the little wallet, and let me get it because I have to show you this. Okay, I'm back. This is a super blabby video. It's gonna be long. I apologize. I just really wanted to show you guys the covers that I have and like talk about the ins and outs and blah, blah, blah. Okay, this is the Apoca leather from Gillio Firenze in the Lila, okay? This thing, let me tell you, has been beat around for months and months and months. So look at this, okay? Like, this thing, the patina for this is like, it's kind of just gotten really shiny, but look how perfect it still is. Like, and I've cleaned it a couple times. I haven't cleaned it recently, but look at how that leather has just held up to a beating, okay? So with that being said, Gillio has talked about doing the pastel colors in the Apoca, and that, my friends, is when I am like, game on, because this leather takes a daggone beating, and even in the light colors, it wears so well and it cleans so well that I'm all about this leather. Not so much the Croco anymore, because I don't know, it's almost like the fibers are like lifted, and I just feel like it just gets too dirty too easily, and then it just looks grimy. But look how good that looks. It just looks so good. So for me, a polka with those colors, yes, I'm all about it. The blush color and the baby blue and the pistachio, the colors are absolutely gorgeous, but they were in the Croco, and so they just were not for me because I know how these things wear, and it's just not working for me with those colors. So with that being said, super excited to know pastels are coming. Don't know if it will be purple. Don't know if they'll be the same color as the Crocos, but we know that pastel in a polka is coming before the end of the year from Gillio, and that is game changing for those of us that are pastel lovers. Having it in this leather is game changing for me. So that's what I'm looking forward to. That's kind of where, if you had to ask me, what is your planner Mumsy? What is your new unicorn? My new unicorn would be a B6 Apunto in Lila. This would make me fall on my knees and beg for mercy. Because I obviously love purple and just really super enjoy the Apoca leather. So, yes. So, anyway, I just really wanted to come on and, talk about the ins and outs of some of these leathers and, talk about some different things that you just don't hear a lot when you come on YouTube. What you hear is, oh, look at my perfect little planner, and isn't it beautiful? And let me take photos of it from all these different angles, and it's gonna look like pristine and perfect, and I'm gonna make you jealous because, it looks like it came out of a studio. Well, guess what? It's not always gonna stay that way. And, we need to talk about like what it will look like if we're okay with it looking like that, and so on and so forth. And I just really wanted to be upfront and honest with you guys, so you had some like truth on some of these different planners, and then you can make more informed decisions about what you want to do, whether it be a custom or whether it be a Gillio that's already pre-made. You can make those decisions on your own. And so update, things are still busy for me. We're still hoping to close on the house next week. We have a little bit of a hiccup that might cause a slight delay, but hopefully it won't be a huge delay, and we'll still be able to get out of here and get into our new home fairly quickly. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for keeping up with things going on my channel, and I will see you next time. Bye.